Hey crafters, welcome. It is not, well, it is Friday night. It's Friday night for me actually, as well as you, but it's a different Friday night. So, time of recording this, it's late November because I know I am heading off into hospital and I'm going to be out of action. So what I thought I would do is pop in a couple of Friday night lives for you, obviously pre-recorded lives, but as you can see, my desk is quite empty at the moment. We probably can't see an awful lot actually, but we're going to do some crafting tonight. So to save you listening to all the chit chat that goes on in the beginning, we can get straight into some crafting. And I thought we would do something non-Christmas. I thought we'd use our ink, and I thought we would play with some embossing folders, stencils, and do some really cool things. Now obviously I am out of action for a little while, but I'm here in spirit, and it's highly likely that you might find me in the comments below depending on what day this content goes out. However, either way, I'm with you. You're never going to get away from me. I'm always going to have content available for you. So let's do some crafting. Now, where do we start is the question. I've got a lot of goodies here, and I'm starting to think, should we make this quite modern? I think we will, and I think we're going to grab some ink pads. So we're going to grab some colour cardstock as well. Now this is our ish card. This actually is our A2 ish card. Not released yet. It will be released in January. But if you've got the 5x7 or the A6, absolutely fine to use those as well. So we're going to, well, what we will create is a top folding note card, which is what I love. And I mean, you know, I'm giving secrets away and I'm not even live. But what we will have for you as well is we're going to have the cardstock, which is A2 size, and to create your top folding note card, you're going to score down the center and it's all ready for you. So I'm going to use one of those. Now you can use a piece of A4 card and you can cut that so this way, so there's your A4, and then cut that down the middle on a trimmer and then score across the middle as well. But for tonight, what I'm going to do is use what I've got, and I am going to bring in some ink, and I'm thinking about what to bring in. I've kind of gone back to some of the original inks that I really, really love, like the Deep Ocean and like the Juicy Pineapple. And I always feel like I'm always using those. Should I mix it up a bit? Well, maybe. And somebody was asking not so long ago if we do a good brown. We do an amazing brown. We do quite a few browns. We do tree bark, we do burnt ochre, we do rusty nails, and we do there's another one which I probably haven't got over here. Where is it? Almond frosting, which is a light one. Then we have straw hat, and then we have rum and raisin, which is like a purpley brown, really nice colour. So they're the kind of vintage colours, but I want to stick to the nice bright colours. So I'm going to use, look at me already. We're going to stick with the Deep Ocean, right? We are going to stick with that one. And we're going to go shocking pink. Now, colour choices, there's a surprise. I do love my bold colours. Now let me move these forward just a touch. Where's me shocking pink? No, that's rhubarb jam. No, I'll tell you what we'll do then. We won't go pink. We'll go purple. When was the last time you saw me use purple? That's a long time ago. So, now I'm thinking of my colour choices. Let me turn you over. Right, let me turn you over, camera 4. Come, let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm going to actually remove my name off there because that is really annoying me. You know who I am. And I bring that down for you just a little bit. And I know we'll zoom out a little bit when we get demoing. I'm just trying to think where to go colour-wise, because this is so out of my comfort zone. I am not feeling that combo at all. I really am not. Is that wrong? Is that one wrong? Let's have a look. Oh, Lisa, you're so rubbish at this. You're so rubbish at deviating from where you should be. Or do we do something completely different? Do we go strawberry sun? Look at that. Now you're going to go, that is nonsense, woman. What are you even thinking? well, I'm not. Let's see what happens. So let's bring in some brushes. And because we're going to be doing some big background areas, I'm going to bring in Wonder brushes tonight. So grab these are on the website if you want these. They're all individual if you want to get them. They cover some big areas, which is what I love. If you want light finish, you can use these beauties, which are our fantastic Pro Blend brushes. Paola adores those particularly. And then you can also use your stencil brushes, but I think to cover bigger areas, it's always quite nice to use bigger brushes. So we've got 4 big brushes there. Move them over here. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit. Zoom it out. Camera 4, zoom out. There we go. That makes life a bit easier. I'm just going to check my head's not going to be in the way. Is it? No. Let's see how far. Oh, there it is. Right. So what I would do also, camera 4. Let's see if I want to go that way a little bit. There we are. Hang on. Let me check where my head goes. That's my nose now. So actually, I can bring that down a little bit now so you won't get my head in the way like you have done in some of the previous videos, which is a bit rubbish, isn't it? So let's see, while you're here, I'm going to look down for a stencil. Now, I've got to bend down, guys. I've got to bend down. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. I do have a box of stencils here. Look at this. Nothing changes even when I'm not here, does it? This is so me. This is so me. So I am going to have a look at a couple of these. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And what was the other one I wanted? This one as well. Hang on. Let me come this way. Let's have a look. And we can make decisions what we're going to do. So I've got a few here. Let's take you back again. I've got the spring bloom, I've got the tiles, and I've got the scalloped circles. So let's move those to one side a minute. We'll leave that up top here. Move all these out of the way. And then we're going to rotate our ultimate. Now let's turn that around. I've actually got my mat underneath, you know, from the stamping element of the tool. I really, really like that. Now, what I'm also going to do is think I'm going to bring in an interference, and I am going to go with, let me grab one of my favorites. Sorry, I'm just rummaging for a sec, guys, just rummaging. I'm going to go with this. So what that's going to do is that's going to help me out a little bit because of these colours. You're thinking, well, that's just random, isn't it? No, that kind of sits well with that. If you see what I mean, when I open that, you've got a green and a yellow, right? And when, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but there is a kind of hint of yellow in the green. So they will work together. But also you've got the blue that will come through, and you've got blue here. So, yeah. Where these will appear, who knows? If they will appear, who knows? However, what I wanted to do is give you different options. So we've got this cardstock, but I'm also going to bring in some watercolor card. Now, again, this is my ish card. Let's bring in a whole heap of that. This is my ish card. This is the A6 ish. So it doesn't really matter what size you use. But I think if we could just stick to kind of one size, it will be really, really useful. Now, let's start with this one. I think this will be the best way to start. So let's pop that down and we'll add ink. We don't need the stencils just yet, so we'll push them to one side. But what we do need is our ink. So we'll start off, I think, with the Juicy Pineapple. And we'll bring in our brush. I'm sure one of these has got yellow on it already. And what I'm going to do is take plenty of that ink. Now, when you're using these brushes, you do get a lighter finish. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So if I bring in one of these, you watch, you get a darker colour straight away, and you can do smaller areas. Now, that's all well and good, but I want to do building up of colour, hence the reason that we bring in this brush. So look, you can see that. How much lighter is that? how much lighter. So different results. So when you start looking at brushes or what you're using, start thinking about the kind of depth of colour you want. If you want something really light, then you can either go with the Pro Blend or you can go with the Wonder Brush. Or if you want something heavier and smaller sections, definitely look at the stencil brushes. But the lovely thing about the Wonder Brushes is, you know, sometimes I forget I've got them because I really love my stencil brushes. However, when you want a really smooth blend, these are really forgiving. They really are. So let's have a little bit more colour in that area here. And I'm bringing the stencil brush in because it's going to give me that depth of colour. Now these are all blending inks, okay? None of these that I'm picking up at the moment are colour shift or interference or metallics as either, to be fair. But they will come into play at some point. Now yellow, that's done. I'm going to see if I can get some ink on there so I can remember that's a yellow. There we go, a little bit yellow on the edge so I don't get my brushes confused. Next one, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for the strawberry. Now this brush has been used for pink, so it doesn't really matter. I love this strawberry colour. And again, it's one of those, you know, that I don't pick up enough. So when I pick this up, you're going to see this is gorgeous. And when this hits the yellow, actually, let's put that over there. That'll be easier. When this hits the yellow, oh, it's going to turn orange. It's so beautiful. I mean, look at that already. Stunning, stunning colours. So when I say I'm kind of a creature of habit, I am. But I kind of do like to change some of the colours up to see how they work with other colours. So let's pop this down here. And then we'll leave a little bit there. And we'll come in here. And let's go just a little touch down there. Have that a little bit lighter. Now you all know how I love doing my ink blending. So I'm going to look at that and go, right, well this is quite nice, but I don't think it's going to give us enough heavy colour. So pop that right in the middle there, very light with your brush, like so. And then it's decide, do we go purple or do we go blue? And I already know I want to go blue. I just adore this blue. So that's the yellow with the pink brush. I did have a big blue brush somewhere that I've been using. And you know what? I don't know where it's gone. I probably dropped it somewhere. Who knows? Oh, there it is. I have dropped it. Look at that. I'll use that one. This is a slightly smaller brush. Now this colour is heavy. Most of you know that anyway. And you'll see when I do this. So you could wipe a lot of this off on your mat. I'm not going to bother. But I will move that to one side. And then you come in here. Can you see that blue? Oh, it's so good. And then off to the side, bring that blue in. And now that yellow will become green. Some of that pink and that orange will come purpley, kind of brown colour. Look at that. And then down here, look at that heavy, heavy, heavy. Doesn't matter. We're going to come in. Look at that. That's now gone purple. So you can see how I'm building this up. But because we're on watercolour card, we can do as much as we like. Now, we'll just do a couple of techniques, but we can pop this onto a card after. Now look, this is going to look cool with the technique I'm planning on. So we'll pop that down like so. Keep plenty of ink on because you do need ink for this. You know what I mean? You need a generous amount of ink for this technique. And then turn that up there. Already, that's really vibrant, isn't it? Now you can see, you know, I've not blended that into that. You know, they are different colours, but I love how these colours all sit together. So pop that down there. Now what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to come back with a little bit of the yellow, I think. But I'm going to come back with a stencil brush just so I can grab some of this ink. Look at that. And I try not to go onto my mat where there's any other colour. See if I can pick that up a little bit, brighten that. Pop that down here and lift that a little bit. Can you see where I'm going now? Like I'm just trying to give us some different contrasts in different areas. So I think that is enough ink. Right, so what we'll do, just move these out of the way for a minute, and I will mist that because there's quite a lot of ink on there that we can use. So let's grab my mister bottle and we'll do a bit of smooshing with that. Now I've got some more watercolour card. Let me grab some. Here we go. And then I'll pop that just down like so. Nice background. Look at that already. It's going to be really cool, that one. I've actually got two pieces there. Let's move that. And then over here we've got some yellow. It's now turned a bit green because of that blue. But look at that. That is a beautiful thing. That's going to be a lovely, lovely background. That blue is fantastic. So when we do that now, we can leave that one to dry. And then that can be for another card already. And what you'll see that at the end, and you'll see how that settles and how that looks. So let's pop that to one side. Still gives this a little wipe now. Let me grab my cloth, my little cloth here, and we'll take some of that ink away. Oops, hold that up there. Get rid of some of this. And then we can pop that piece of card that we've just inked back down. But before we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of the stencils and we're going to decide which one to use. Now, for this technique, they're all going to work. I think I'm going to go with this one. I might regret this, but I think I'm going to go with this one. So let's open this up. These are all on the website individually. I'm almost certain of it. So if you look at our stencils, this one is the Spring Bloom. And I'm going to bring my mister bottle back in, okay? And I'm going to mist the reverse of the stencil. Just with some water. Hang on, there's a bit of stencil material there. Let me move that. Mist that with some water, which is lovely. And then I'm going to pop my card down. You can do it either way. You can do that and then turn this over. Or you can put the stencil down and put the card on top. But I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go like that. And it's kind of grab that now. Love that. So leave that to do its thing for a minute. Well, I like to press it down. A little bit of water. Let's see how it works. So what you can do, if you lift it up, you'll start to see some of it. No, put it down a minute. And we'll do that. I can see the water moving. So this isn't going to give you exact shapes because the water is random, but this is going to give you one beautiful background. Okay, so lift that off now. Don't know if you can see that yet, but let that water do its thing. Hopefully you can start to see some of that design coming through. So then you can just give it a little tap. See that? So that's one super cool background. So if I lift that up like so, so that becomes a faux bleach technique, but it's only picked up certain areas. So we're going to do some more inking. So we're going to do some more different styles of backgrounds, and then we're going to pick the one we like the most. So that's the first one. So let's come back with that watercolour card. And we'll clean this off. Like so. And we'll do more inking. So let's mix up our colours now. So let's go with the purple. I've got a brush for the purple. This is a beautiful colour, and I don't know why I don't use it often. I'm just not a purple person. But when I use it, I'm like, why don't I use it? You see that already? Look at that colour. Isn't that ridiculously gorgeous? Sweet Violet, this is called. If you don't have Sweet Violet, honestly, it's one of those that I really think if you don't have it, it's just worth having in your arsenal. It really is. So a little bit of purple down like here randomly. So we've got quite a lot of purple on this one. It's fine, but we're going to bring the blue back in. Where did I put the blue brush? Here it is. Is the blue brush. And again, these are beautifully heavy colours. So this will give us a heavier result. And it's coming with that blue here. Look at the blue and the purple together. Aren't they lovely? So we'll just stick with blue and purple on this one. Just like so. And I'm literally going to blend these together. So you've got quite a lot of blue on that side. Again, doesn't really matter. And we'll pop a bit of blue down here. And then what we'll end up doing is adding a little bit more purple in some of these corners. All right, so a little bit of blue there, like so. And bring that purple back in. I've got grubby fingers, that's fine. And then we'll bring that back in. There's the purple brush. I think that's the purple one. Who knows? Anyway, put that over here. Bring that purple back in. Like so. Mix that all together. That's going to be a cracking colour. And then bring that purple in here too. So all of this is going to give you a much darker feel. Can you see that? There's so many colours in here. Like when you put the blue down first, or whether you put the purple down first, you get different results. But in all honesty, what I would do as well is I would take a clean piece of this and hold it when you're rubbing, or you'll end up with fingerprints in it like I did just then. Okay, so we'll put the lid back on that one and we'll do a bit of cleaning up again. Now I was going to clean up onto the same piece of card, but as this has dried, that's dried beautifully, and I don't want to do cleaning up on that because I think that's a really nice background. So we will clean up using another piece. So move that out of the way. Put that there. Let's do a bit of cleaning up here. And then pop this down here. Again, another really nice background. You don't have to fill the entire piece of card either, because I find I end up trimming it down anyway. I'm taking the section that I like the most. So that again is going to give you another really good background. Dig in a little bit more there in that middle piece. And I might just tap a little bit down here so we've got some areas in those corners covered a little bit more. So set that one aside. So already we've now got 3 pieces of art all ready to go. And then we're going to rinse this off, wipe this off a little bit as well, because that's what we just used. And then take that piece of tissue again and give that a wipe again. So get your inks out, you know, all of you've got them. You've all got them. If nothing else, you might have release one. Who knows? Who knows what you've got? But just please, please, please use them. Now, so we're going to stick with that stencil. And I'm actually going to not put it face down. I'm going to put it face up now because it's still got a bit of water on there. And then I'll pop this underneath. And we can do one of 2 things. Now, we could bring in some dark ink. So if I brought in anthracite, oh my days, this would be crazy good. Right, we're going to do something here. I'm testing this, but I have a feeling this is going to work bonkers good. So anthracite, we all know anthracite. Anthracite, black, no. It's like a greeny colour. So what we'll do with this, we've got a small brush and we're going to go over the top now with the anthracite over all of those colours. Oh, it's going to look brilliant, I think. So we'll come over here. Look at that. I can see that colour through already. But remember, we've got that beautiful purple and the blue underneath as well. Come down here. I'm going to get another piece of cloth because I feel like anthracite is a bit of a monkey and it goes everywhere. So it'll be all over my fingers in no time. Then it'll be all over my card. So we're going to use this, and I'm doing this for a reason, and you'll see it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. So you've now got this gorgeous background that I've just covered in, you know, almost bluey green ink, but we've still got the ink that's on the stencil that we haven't used yet, which is like a bluey green colour, isn't it? As you can see here. So let's pop this down here. I'm loving this already. So far removed from the colours I normally do, isn't it? Now, the other thing you can do, if you've got, let me see if I've got it here. Yes, I have. Something like Night Sky. So this is Night Sky. This is an interference ink. What you actually can do, if I bring in a new brush, I think I might have one for Night Sky. You can take your Night Sky. Oh, where's that bit of tissue again? Here it is. You can go into your circles like so. And at the moment, you can't see anything. I can. You can't. Over here as well. Let's go into those circles. That one needs a little bit more there. Around here. So again, this is where your stencil brushes come in. And down here. That's going to look good there. I might have put too much ink there, but who cares? That'd be fine. And this one here. Okay. So that's Night Sky, interference. But I lift this off. That's bonkers good as well. So now, I don't know if you see that, it's your background. And can you see the gold, excuse me, just starting to pop through as it's drying in the centre of those flowers? So that is another background. So completely different, like completely different, okay? Both are arty, both are unique, and both are gorgeous. And we've still got these two as well, equally as beautiful if you don't like the heavy look. It gets better, right? So what you can do now, take this up. I don't want to pop this onto a card at the moment. So it's such a great colour. Such a great colour. Now lift that up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of watercolour card. So get your watercolour card out and be playing with it. And we'll pop this down here. Oh, actually, no. We'll bring the stencil back in first. And this stencil is now filthy. So you don't waste this. You literally water all over this. And then you place it down and you pop that over the top. And then you grab that dirty tissue that we had and you can start tapping down. Now you could do it the other way around like we did the first one. But I just want to show you different ways. See what you find easier. Now obviously you're going to get dirty on the back of this card. It doesn't really matter. And then I'll just give that a little rub. A little rub. And that is going to look great. Oh, look at that. So arty, isn't it? Isn't that just a delight? Just a delight. So again, another look. Different, but so cool. Absolutely cool as anything. I nearly did a swearing word then. So let me take a regular piece of card actually. I feel like I've got loads of ink left here. And I'm going to lift that up. I don't mind about that mess there. Okay. And then turn that over. And let's do that. There we are. You're going to get another pull from this. You could even now stencil through that with another colour. But let's just move some of this beautiful ink onto here. Oh, it wasn't enough. I thought there was going to be more than that. Well, that one's a disappointment. Well, the first one's over, the first disappointment. Anyway, you could still cut that and use that, couldn't you? Pop the stencil back over and do your inking. But probably wouldn't use that one. I'm not going to lie. Probably wouldn't use that one. So what I do love to do is take a piece of card as well. Sorry, I paused the recording for a second then because Danny rang me about something. And what I tend to do is if I've got a piece of card like this, if I've got extras on it, and like this is only just a piece of rough card, and then I clean off like that, just like so, get rid of all the extra bits, and I give it a rub over, and you'll see that you start to also create yourself another little background that you can use. So I'm bringing in my die cutting machine. I paused my video when Danny came in and I completely messed it up because what I did, you know, the one that had all the bright colours, the very first one I didn't like it. So what I did is I popped it inside my embossing folder, which is the alphabet soup, and I put ink on the deboss side. And I just realised like my video wasn't going up in time. I paused it like an absolute wally. So that's all I've done is I've taken the artwork and I've put black ink on the deboss side. That's all I've done. So apologies, it's been one of those weeks. But what I was saying was because I used anthracite, please note that you do end up getting ink everywhere. So give your plates a good clean afterwards. Move that out of the way and I'm going to bring this back in. My desk is a bit messy, and I'll just show you. So what that's done is completely changed that artwork. You wouldn't even know that it was the red and the yellow and the blue and the purple, would you? You absolutely wouldn't know. And all I've done is put it in the folder and put the ink on the deboss side. And hold that up, look at that. How crazy good is that? I mean, how crazy good is that? So that is literally running that through your die cutting machine with ink on it. So let's like recap at what we've got. So far, oh, I've got such a mess going on here. Let me just clean my die cutting machine. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. Now, I'm hoping the video didn't become disjointed there, simply because I put you on pause, didn't I? Which was very rude of me. But you didn't really need to hear Danny telling me about how cold it was in the shop and that he's looking at going out with his camera. So, yeah. So I'm going to leave this as it is for the moment. And then we are just going to tidy up a little bit. I'm going to show you what we've got. So we clearly know that I didn't like that one originally, but now I absolutely love it. And then we've got this one, which I also adore. We've then got kind of our arty ones, haven't we? So these were the kind of the backgrounds that we created as well. Now, again, with what I did as well, I used the brayer and I brayed onto the stencil, and this is what happened. Just braying onto the stencil, give a great result. And then this was ink misting onto the stencil with the ink we had left. Love that as well. So those were the ones that I really, really liked. And then we have this, which is the kind of when you do your brayering and then you go like this, clean off your brayer. That's a cleaning off your brayer bit. So now we've got lots and lots of backgrounds. So if you have a time with your crafty mojo and you think, I don't know what to do with myself, do things like this. So to create that one, all I did is I took see, I'm just recapping simply because I don't know what the video caught and what it didn't catch. So I got this and I literally got my ink and I brayed ink on it, spritzed it and like that and used it like a stamp. And that's what we got with that one. So if I didn't show you that, I hugely apologise, but hopefully you can see kind of how it happened. And there you go. This one I love because you've got the gold in there as well. Two different styles. And then I have that. That's just wowzers, isn't it? So that's that. Final thing I want to show you is now I want to clean this off. So I get a bit funny with these. I will take it into the kitchen after and give it a good scrub, but I do want to use as much as I can of this ink. It might not be I might not be worthy of any of this ink, but what I will try to do is pop the cardstock in a similar position to where it was before, so we don't get too much heaviness in one area. So pop that down like so, cover that, and when you turn that over, can you see already the amount of ink you got left in there? Just blows your mind how far these inks do go. So use our plates again. Then messy, goodness me. I just don't know how this ink ends up in places, so I didn't even put it. But I know what's going to happen. It's going to happen again in a minute because the water's going to squish it all out, isn't it? So I don't even know why I'm really bothering. And then it's on my finger. So that, yeah. Anthracite. The perks and the perils of anthracite. Right. So what we'll do is we'll get that and we'll get that. And we'll have a messy mat again in a minute. Grab that one. Look, Lisa, for crying out loud, woman. That one. I'm very annoyed that I ended up pausing that. I paused it through some of the good bits as well, but don't worry, I'll be doing another one for next week as well. So when I look at this one and go, I missed that bit, what I'll do is make sure I try and cover the next bit on the next one. Anyway, let's run that through and see what happens. Oh, that's gonna look good as well. Let me move that. Going to be a bit of time in the kitchen, I think, a bit of cleaning up. But so white card, and you wouldn't think there was that much ink left, would you? Same embossing folder. So background was different colours. This one was just a white background. So look at those. I mean, I really like that actually. It's got a load of ink left, isn't it? So don't think, oh, I just need to take it under the tap and give it a wash. Use it like that, okay? Just use it like that. It's so clever. So that's that. Right, I'm actually going to leave my screen and everything where it is. And I'm going to come back to you. My desk is a mess. I'm not good with mess. Now, this is obviously a pre-recorded live, but hopefully it's something to keep you going while I'm not here in person, so to speak. If I'm well enough, I will be in the chat, no doubt. But I did use a bunch of our blending inks, some of our interference inks. And if you check out on the website, any of the embossing folders will do these techniques, as will any of the stencils really. I will try and cover a bit more in some more videos, but hopefully, you can pick up your stash, or maybe you're thinking, oh, well, I want some new ink pads. I don't really know what to get. If you want to do technique-y kind of stuff, the blending inks are brilliant for that. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there for you now, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Keep crafting while I'm recovering, and I will be back with you very, very soon, whether it's in person or whether it's another recorded live. I'm hoping it'll be in person. And yeah, get this silly old neck sorted out. Hopefully, if they lift it up far enough, I might not need to use me retinol so much. Who knows? Anyway, hopefully I'm laughing at the other end of this. You just never know, do you? Anyway, have a great evening, everybody. It was great to have your company. Apologies for the pause in the middle, but I hope it didn't distract you too much. Have a good weekend, and I will catch